Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Build Triggby. This is the 5th episode. If you want to see the 4 ones before this, check out the link in the description for the entire playlist of building Triggby. Alright, so to start with, as promised, I'm going to be filling in the gap between the oil producer and the walls. I had some great comments about the oil guy. Still haven't done my research, but it'll be fine eventually. Well, as you can see, this building, it has a weird shape. It's basically just thrown in to fill up the space between the wall and the other buildings. So it's kind of rectangular, but also not. And I wanted to make it at least semi-interesting, so I gave it a more steep part of the roof and a more slant part of the roof. And kind of just threw something together, which I suppose looks quite nice. So yeah, just using some basic materials, some white-ish concrete or terracotta, and some wood for the upper bits. And there's going to be a separate family living below and a separate one on top, so we're going to have to edit the doorway, but it'll be fine. Alright, so now on to the next building, which is my first experiment with sticky outy pillars bits in angled buildings. So you can see me having some struggles with placing those in the angles, because of course the counting is all off, and you can see it doesn't really work out over there. But eventually I think I came to quite a good solution. And it basically comes down to try and error. That's the only thing you can do. Until, well, you're maybe happy with it or you remove it, as I did with the building that was in this place beforehand. So yeah, I wanted this building to be, you know, one of the more wealthier buildings. So it has a nice stone floor and it's well thought out and it's well looked after. Because of course this is going to be on the temple square, so it will have some commerce. And I thought it would be good to put something like a cobbler, a shoemaker in here. To you know, because it's a producing building, it isn't too big and not too fancy, so I don't want it to be like a surface like a banker's or the postal office or whatever. But yeah, the people in here, they don't have too many worries, I'd say. So yeah, a bit struggling with the roof because, well, it's an angled roof, but it's on a very shallow angle. So it looks really weird if you look at it from close by, but on a distance it looks kind of fine. Now to finalize it, throwing in some windows so you can actually see what's going on inside, and moving on to the little alleyway, which is going to be a connector up to the castle of Triggby. And now again, this was on a very slight angle, and I had a lot of issues defining this angle and making the archway over top look good. As you can see, I finally changed it to a 2-wide doorway, and I think it looks quite well. So if you ever struggle with angles, just try some stuff out and get rid of it afterwards if you're not happy with it, because it'll be fine in the end once you look at it in the bigger picture. Just throwing on a roof, adding in an ending, and this is what it looks like on the path we're going to do later. But for now, this is what the streets will look like over here. And of course we're flying inside the temple right now, which is going to be the next episode actually. But yeah, onto another building next to the temple on the other side, next to the clothier, which is going to be a normal townhouse kind of thing. Kind of stole the design of Dakar, I suppose, in Lordsport, but I suppose it's a really general design. But I like the way it looks. I like the colors. And I like that it looks kind of big and many different people live in here. And now up to the roof, which is of course going to be a problem, and you see me struggling and trying out some different systems of building the roofs. Now with these rectangular angled buildings, of course you can get a nice system in there. Although for the more wild shapes like the building we did before, the system kind of has to just get thrown out and you just have to do something. Right, onto the road, which is going to be more intact in the center than on the edges, which might not really make sense at first glance, but I suppose that Triggby would have enough money to make sure that the inner parts of the road are well looked after and the outer parts are basically not the road anymore, but there's some stones being kicked about and some mud being mingled in, so that's why it looks all brownish around the edges with a little bit of grass in there. You saw me make one of the castle doorways that leads up to the castle. This is going to be another one, and I think there will be another one inside the mountain maybe. But this is going to be the one next to the front door of the city. So this is going to go up and around to the wall and up and continue to the castle, and it's just some basic stonework and pathing, but it does make it look quite impressive because it's got loads of verticality and strong shapes like rectangles and triangles, like these ones over here. Now I wanted to keep it solid, so that's why I used an andesite wall on top, because of course this is kind of Nordic and Viking, and I wanted the towers already to look very stubby and strong. So yeah, that's the feel I'm going with these ramparts, and also the rest of the castle once we eventually get to it. I haven't built it yet, but I'm excited. Right, so this is going to be another part of the staircase, which was annoying to count out because I wanted to have enough space on both sides to walk up and down, and I wanted to make sure that some kind of cart could make the bend. So loads of fiddling. And eventually I found something that works, again with loads of verticality, and that's going to go up to the top of the rock where the castle's going to be. Just filling that in with some brushes, and adding some basalt to get something more to look at. Now for another building, which is going to be right back there, as you can see. Adding some entrances, or doorways I suppose, to the building up front, so families can actually get into their apartments, and then just quickly throwing up another building back there, which I did some miscounting in, but I corrected that eventually. And yeah, just basic wood. It's already not made of that much stone anymore. I like the way it turned out. I like the roof, and I like the overhang it has. So this is about it for today's episode. As you can see, we did the road, we finished some streets, and it's really starting to look like a little town in here. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. And I'm certainly hyped for the next episode. We're going to be building the massive temple in the center, which is definitely going to be the biggest building in Triggby yet. So thank you very much for watching. If you want to see more, check out the channel, and I really hope to see you next time. Bye!